This session is all about leg stability and balance. You can see I've got a couple of props on my right hand side, 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks available to you, or a block, or some sturdy hardback books, then find yourself a step for this one. And we're going to do what we call some hip hitches to start off with. So I'm going to place my blocks together so I've got a nice, even, sturdy base. I'm going to place my right foot on top of the block. A hip hitch is where you pop your hands on your hips, so keep them nice and level. Draw your left foot up towards your right foot. As you inhale, you're going to hitch your hip up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, you're going to drop that left hip down, just allowing the movement to come from the hip. It's a really good one to do. A really great one for those who run, those who do anything that requires hip stability. I'm going to go for 10 rounds. So this is my third. Just take your time. If you need to break here, go for it, and then you can just pause the video and then start up again once you've done your 10. 5, 6. Oh. Try and keep this nice and controlled. Keep your torso nice and tight, just moving from the hip. Keep that left foot or those left toes really flexing towards the shins, pointing towards the shins. Last one. Good. Stepping off and then switching sides. So when you adopt your first position, just make sure you're nice and level. Shoulders are nice and down. You've got a great posture position. Drawing that right foot towards your left foot, so they're nice and equal. We want to avoid hinging to one side or the other, or leaning to one side to try and get this right. Hold on to a wall, hold on to a banister, do what you need to do in order to get this positioning. And again, just lifting up, you'll find one side harder than the other, no doubt. Try and do it with control, or as much control as you can. It will improve as you do them. 3. As I said, break them down as you need to. 4, 5, 6. You can see my left foot really working hard to keep myself balanced. 7, 8. Ooh. Keep tension throughout the body. 9. Last one. 10. Good. Once you've done that, move the books or the blocks out of the way. And then we're going to go into some standing balances. So shake your legs out if they're particularly tight. At the moment, they're working really hard. We've got about 7 or 8 minutes left of this, so you can do it. So take your left foot out in front of you, balance on that right foot, point those left toes in front of you. So from a side profile, small step out in front of you, pointing those toes, and then just pulsing that left leg up. So it's working on the hip flex as well. For 3, for 2, for 1. Keep those shoulders nice and low. Keep breathing nice and steadily. Sweep that left foot round so they're in parallel, so in line with each other. Across the way, lifting up. This is going to be hard on your on the outside of your hip. For 3, keep that balance. For 2, for 1. Sweep that foot behind you. Hip width apart. Lift up for 3, for 2, for 1. Sweep that foot forwards, those toes, and then drop the heel. So lifting the toes up towards your shins. Really flexing them up. We're going to do the same again. So from here, we're going to go for 3. Keep that balance. Squeeze that pelvic floor. For 2, for 1. Sweeping that heel out towards the side. Now dropping the toes. We've got the inside of the foot onto the mat. For 3, for 2, for 1. Instead of going backwards, because that's super hard, we're just going to walk our left leg around the back of our right leg, lengthen out, almost so they're exactly touching all the way up the legs, and then just going to hinge forward just slightly, trying to level off your hips here, pulling a little bit on the hamstrings. For 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly hinging up, switching sides. So shaking out the legs if you need to. Putting your weight through that left leg, pointing those right toes out in front of you, lifting for 3, minimize the movement in the body, for 2, for 1, sweeping those toes in a nice big semicircle out to the side, for 3, really good for the hip flexors, for 2, and your balance because your center of gravity is being challenged now, for 1, all the way behind you, for 3, keep that back in a nice position, for 2, if you need to bend those knees, do so, for 1, good, sweep that foot forwards, drop the heel in front of you, for 3, for 2, for 1, sweep that heel all the way around, drop those toes so the weight is on the inside of that foot, for 3, you might need to do this a bit slower, for 2, with control, for 1, take your right foot now behind your left foot, lengthen out those legs, so stand upright and then hinge forward from the hips, pushing that bottom back, getting a nice little pull on the hamstring, for 3, for 2, for 1, good, slowly coming up and linking those feet, wiggling out. Next exercise. So this time we're going to put our weight through our right foot again. We're going to draw our knee towards our chest, flexing our left toes towards our shins. And we're going to hold it here, really balancing through that right foot. If you can, just splay your toes. Try and get that tripod balance. So you want your big toe, your little toe, and your heel all on the mat, gripping the mat. Really trying to create some stability here. Drop those shoulders, relax those hips, for 2, for 1. Taking that leg out towards the side. So for 3, for 2, for 1. Moving it all the way around as if you're going over a hurdle. And then we're going to come into a variation of a one-legged deadlift. You can see I've got my back leg bent and I've also got my front leg bent. I don't want to create too much pressure going through the lower spine, so I'm just going to do that to begin with. And then if I feel comfortable, I'm just going to lengthen out that left leg, pointing those toes, lengthening out the right leg. For 3, dropping my torso as I go, but making sure I'm not going to one side or the other, leveling off the hips, leveling off the shoulders, for 2, for 1. Slowly bending that long leg, so the leg I'm balancing on, bringing the left knee to my chest, dropping down. Really nice work. Other side. So if you need a breath, just take a breath. Otherwise, we're going to crack on. So balancing and weight through that left foot. Remember to have the weight distributed between your big toe, your little toe, and your heel. Bring that right leg up towards the ceiling. Nice right angle here. For 3, for 2, for 1. Take that right leg out nice and wide. You might want to take your hand there if you'd like to. You're going to feel it on your hips as well. For 3, for 2, for 1. Sweep it round as if you are going over a hurdle. And then take that right leg behind you, bending that left leg as well. Just find your position here, maybe lengthening out that right leg, pointing those right toes, hinging your torso and your hips down towards the floor, making sure your hips are as square as possible, your shoulders are square towards the mat as well. For 3, for 2, for 1. Bending that standing leg, bending the right leg, bringing it all the way through towards the chest, dropping down with control, shaking out those legs. Final little challenge. So you're probably quite tired in the hip area and the balance area. So you can either turn off now and just leave it there because you've had a good balance and stability sort of session, or you can do a 30-second challenge on each side in what we call a tree position, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. So if you want to join me for this last challenge, we're going to come into tree position. So I'm going to distribute my weight again through this right foot or this right leg. And the 3 variations we can go into for tree position, depending on your mobility or flexibility and how you're feeling. It's here where we've got our foot on the floor, so our toes on the floor, below the knees, so on our shins, just opening up this left leg. Or we can grab hold of this leg, drop it just underneath the groin, above the knee. The main thing here is we've got this left knee going out towards the side. So adopt the position of your choice, hands into prayer or on your hips, or holding a wall if you'd like to. And we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. So keep breathing. If you fall out of it, just come back into it. Let's go now. I'll count when we get to 10 seconds. So when we're doing this sort of position, we really want to drive our left knee out towards the side. So we're working on our hip area, also working on our stability and your balance. So we've done 15 seconds now. So keep going, keep that balance, keep that breathing. If you find this easy, you can continue on after I've changed it up. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that left knee towards the chest. Drop it down, other side. So adopt the same position as you did on the first side. For me, I was right here. Get a nice grip. Try not to put your ankle or your foot on your knee. We don't want to be pushing it out. And we're going to start the challenge in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So finding the position of your choice. You're going to find that left leg starting to wobble a little bit. Try and pick something that you're looking at that isn't moving. It's always really helpful. Definitely not someone walking in front of you or making you laugh. We've got 10 seconds left. You can do it. Drive that right knee out. Try and sit up or stand upright, throwing those hips forwards. For 3, for 2, for 1. Bring that knee to the chest nice and slowly. Drop that foot down. Shake those legs out. Well done. That really isn't easy, especially if you have sort of a lack of stability on one side and the other. You might find it really hard on both sides. And actually that varies day to day, depending on what we're doing and how we're feeling. So have another go at this if you found that really challenging, or use a wall. It's not cheating. You're just developing that stability. And once you've got that stability, it's really easy to maintain. I hope to see you on my next session. Thanks very much. Bye.